Hi, Jessica Voss here. Welcome to Auditions Gone Wrong series where I chronicle true life's audition debacle stories. And this is actually part two to a previous video that I already spoke about. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that I talked about a director that had me meet at a public place and then tried to get me to go back to his private residence. You know how that story goes. Thank you for watching and supporting. Really appreciate it. If you haven't seen the video, please pause this video and go watch it because it is quite a story and I'm sure you'll like it. And I won't have any spoiler alerts here, FYI. So yeah, let's dive right in. Part two of meeting the manager. So I call this I Can Make You a Star. So I was really frustrated. I just had a horrible audition experience and I was walking back to the bus stop. I couldn't find my bus stop. I was like, looking frazzled, looking at the post and trying to figure out if the bus was going in the right direction to get me back home. And I made eye contact with this older gentleman who was dressed very nicely in a suit, and he asked me, like, hey, are you lost? You know where you're going? And I just confirmed, yeah, is this the correct bus that's gonna get me to North Hollywood? And he was like, yes, you're at the right spot. So I felt a little bit better after that. Whew, I could breathe. Then, he started talking to me, asking me, how my day went. So I told him about the audition experience that happened. Again, no spoiler alerts. Did I say that correctly? No spoiler alerts. I get tongue twisted sometimes. Anywho, so I digress. So I did tell him that, yeah, I had not the best day and yada, yada, yada. And he was like, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear. That really sucks. He's like, well, sometimes things happen for a reason because I'm actually a manager and I can help you. So he pulls out his card, hands it to me. I take it, I look at it, and yeah, indeed, it says such and such manager and then his company. I really don't even remember any of the names, so I'm not purposely avoiding the name. I just don't remember. And I thought, whoa, maybe I encountered that situation because I was meant to meet this guy. He was super nice, super charming. We talked the whole way until I had to get on the next bus to get home. And I went home later on that week. I ended up sending him a message and we set an appointment to meet. And I arrived at his office, which, it was an office, so I thought, whoa, okay, great. And I sat down with him and, he said, I can make you a star. You have the right look, you're at the right age, blah, 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 just kind of flattering me. And then he said, and all you need to do is pay me $3,000. $3,000 to make me a star. Well, I started to challenge him a little bit. I was like, well, if you really believe in me and you believe I can be a star, why not just invest in me? Really, that's what an agent does, is agents don't get paid until after you book your first job. Then they make a percentage of that income. So in a sense, it's like they're believing in you and putting their name on the line for you type of thing. They're working with you because they believe in you. That's what it is. So he started saying, just turning on the sales pitch like, well, I definitely believe you're a star and you would be amazing. I just need to have headshots from you and then I've got to be able to get a portfolio for you and then the rest will go towards office payments and things like that. I hadn't been acting for that long, but I knew how much headshots cost. I knew how much portfolios cost. And I know how much it costs to buy a stapler, some paper, to print stuff out. Because in this part of in the industry and in life, things had already turned to the electronic route. So all the submissions were being done on the computer. So I completely missed that time when apparently actors had to have their headshots mailed in and couriered and blah blah blah. So apparently I missed all that. Everything is now electronic. So I'm trying to think, well, what can really add up to $3,000? You know, headshots are maybe a couple $100. Your portfolio, maybe the same, maybe a little less. And then office stuff, you know, even less than $1,000. So I challenged him again. I said, well, I can't afford this. You know, would you be willing to, you know, hold off and wait till I book the first job like a manager is technically supposed to do? And he just was like, well, no, because I definitely need to be able to work in my office, and I need to be able to do certain things and pay for things, and if I can't do that, then we don't have a business that will sustain. And so he starts saying all this stuff, and I just had to tell him flat out, look, sir, I'm sorry, but I can't afford that. And then he got aggressive. He was like, well, do you not want to be a star? Are you not serious about your acting career? You must not really be serious if you can't put down an investment. You know, he threw that word around a lot. This just did not seem the way that things were done. Because I was new, of course, but at the same time, at this point of life, I had been actually going on more workshop classes and things like that, where they actually teach you a little bit about the business of acting. And I knew that agents and managers take a percentage on the back end. So when you book your first job, an agent takes 10%, a manager takes 15, sometimes 20%. But the fact that he was grilling me and trying to make me feel guilty for not putting money down, well, somehow innately I knew that it didn't feel right. And now looking back, he might have seen a vulnerable girl, you know. I just came from a horrible audition situation, so he knew that I'm an actor. He knew that I might be a little privy to some form of scams. So he played it completely opposite, where he was going to make me feel bad about not being committed to my dreams. That was the one thing I remembered in a seminar. They said, do not give somebody money if they're asking it for upfront. They're not a real manager. They're not a real agent if they're asking for money upfront. But also, it becomes more of a partnership where you do your due diligence and they work on behalf of you. And so they're submitting you and they're pitching you. They're picking up the phone on your behalf. So then when you book your job, they make a percentage of that. And that's fair. Now, I'm really glad that somebody along the way, I don't even remember which seminar or where I heard it from, because at the time I was kind of anything acting related, I was on it. I was researching like crazy. But I'm so grateful I got that piece of advice, because it made it so much easier for me to just say, no thanks, I can't afford this. And I even had a little boldness in me to challenge him a little and ask him, well, what is the $3,000 for? What is it covering? Some people just assume that that's a standard amount to pay, so they don't question it, because all they're hearing is the emotional element of, I could become a star for only $3,000. And the sad thing is, this is what these scam artists do to prey on your dreams and your hopes in order to rob you of your hard-earned money or your parents' hard-earned money. And it's just not right. Unfortunately, I don't think I should have taken my own advice too. I did look him up, but I don't think I did my extensive research, or maybe, you know, looked in deeper, because when I went and looked him up later, after this whole meeting had happened, I started seeing his name connected to the Better Business Bureau. And I even saw articles about how he had different names that he was using. And this was all public record online for me to see. Now, I at least learned my lesson, and thank God I was not in a horrible or unfortunate situation. But how much wiser would I have been to do that level of research before I even go to the meeting? You know? Then I put myself in a much better situation by staying home, because now that I think about it, it was just me and him in the office, and anything could have happened. It could have turned out to be a whole different story. So there you have it. I went from one scam straight into another scam. But good thing I didn't get tied into those scams and didn't fall for those scams. You just have to use wisdom and common sense sometimes when dealing with people. I think that if somebody starts to get defensive and irate and aggressive, those are usually signs that they're trying to get something from you rather than them truly believing in you. And you have to ask yourself too, why does this person believe in me? Why does he say I'm a star? He didn't even see me act. He didn't even see my work. So how do you know I can be a star? I mean, I believe, that's what I was saying. I believe, but how does he know that I'm any good? What if I open my mouth and I'm a horrible actress and I don't know what I'm doing, and it's clear that I don't know what I'm doing, and he's just gonna take a risk for me, and only $3,000? When you think about those logistics, it starts to really be like, oh yeah, that doesn't add up. It's very inconsistent. So the next time somebody says something like that, I can make you a star for only X amount of money, just know that whatever that X amount of money is, that's what they're getting in their pockets. Regardless of whether they work for you, whether they are submitting you, whether they do a good job, they've already received that money up front before you've seen them do any work. That's not a good deal. That's why agents and managers that are in the legitimate industry, they take it on the back end when you book the job, because they're going to bat for you. And it's your way of actually protecting yourself from these type of scam artists that are trying to con you. Know who you are. Know your truth. Know that yes, if you're going after a creative field, especially like acting, where it's easy to manipulate young women, oh, you've got the right look. All it takes is a look. We don't need anything else. A look. Know who you are. Know what you want. And be wise when you speak to strangers who say that they try to promise you something because of just this, for X amount of money. There's usually more to that story, and it's not usually for your benefit. Trust me. And plus, as an actor, you write stuff off, so more likely if you do encounter someone who says, hey, I want to help you reach a level of career success, that's a little bit different than I want to make you a star, all you need is X amount of money. Those real managers, they do groom you, but you end up paying for it. You pay for your own headshots, you pay for your own classes. They just give you the tools that you need to do those things. They don't pay for it often, maybe some might, I don't know, but like they usually require for you to pay for it. And the win-win situation in it all is that you're doing your due diligence to work and to make those tools work for you while they're pitching you, and then they're receiving money on the back end. I keep stressing that point only because it's so important. Money on the back end only. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that's it for now. Thanks for listening to my Auditions Gone Wrong series. And if you like this, want some more, please like, subscribe, and share. Be sure to comment below. I want to hear what's something that you took away from this, something that you might be able to implement into your own life. This is Jessica Boss, helping you be the boss in your life. And until next time, y'all, have a great time. Be safe.